Hello once again. Today we're going to cover a subject we've covered before, but today I'm going to try and just be a little bit more precise about it, and so you can get better at avoiding doing this to your label. That's somebody who's took a sticker off, not very successfully. Or this one here, somebody's took two stickers off. One of them successfully, one of them not very successfully. So what we're going to talk about today is the three different types of stickers that you'll encounter. There's these here, which are glue backed. This is a glue one. I'm just sliding my nail down there and you can see it's on a nice laminated surface, so it's going to come off really easily, but that is, if you put your finger on that, it's still sticky. So that's a glue back sticker. This is a glue back sticker. These are large stickers which you've got to be very careful with, and the other stickers which are really common are these, which are name and address stickers, which were really popular in the 60s. That belonged to a lady in Pittsburgh, big record in Pittsburgh, the Funky Sisters Do It To It. It was bootlegged there. This is an original and it's got one of these stickers here. Okay, with this sticker here, and as you can hear, it's stuck down really tight. I'm only gently picking at that, but you can hear how tight that is, and we're going to get that off for you, hopefully. It's a water-based gum that's put that one down. Now, because it's a water-based gum, it will react to water, but the best moisture you can put on it is your own saliva. The same things that people who are renovating old master paintings use. Saliva is a great cleaner, and it's also a fantastic thing for getting the gum-backed stickers off. Now the gum back stickers are the same sort of thing that you, when you lick a stamp, postage stamp, and stick it on, that's gum backed. Okay, so I'm going to get some saliva, and what I'm going to do is try not to touch the label at all. You do need a bit of saliva, so hopefully somebody wants to talk about a pint of beer or so and get my mouth watering. That'll be good, but I'm going down the middle here. I'm trying not to get it on the label. Not a very pleasant sight, I know, but it's so effective. So there we go. A little bit more saliva, and as you can see now, just changing colour a little bit, so that means it's soaking in. We're going to leave that one. Here's another type of sticker, and can you hear it's really, that's tight down, and I think that is a gum backed, just like you would have on the back of a postage stamp. So we dab that, and we'll leave that one there. And then there's this type of sticker, the Dymo tape sticker. Now, people used to put their names on these Dymo tapes, a great big long one. This is a short one, it's just got 63 on it. That's probably number 63 in his collection. That's all it's got on there. Now, these you leave alone. I've been trying to get these stickers off now for, I don't know, over 30 years, and my success rate of getting them off without a mark is so low that I've now just leave them alone. Unfortunately, the glue used on this, it penetrates the paper, it sticks it down solid, and no matter how much I use solutions to break that stickiness down, also saliva doesn't work, it will tear the label. So if you see these Dyno stickers, best leave them alone. You can experiment like I have, but my success rate on those is less than 15% of getting them off without leaving a terrible mark, and a lot of the time it actually tears, and it's very I've even had scalpels under them and lifted them very gently. They're a challenge, so if you want to have a go at them, you can do. If you wanted to have a go at it, you would put some lighter fluid on it, let it sit, then slide your fingernail's not fine enough, a scalpel under it, and pick away very slowly. Probably take you a good 30 minutes to do it, and the results are usually disappointing. So if you see a Dymo sticker on your label, leave it alone. Okay, now we've been talking now for what, about 2 minutes, so let's have a look at this baby here. Oh, look at this, it's like magic, isn't it? It's like magic. Oh, look at that, that's gone. Got another one underneath that would belong to somebody else who lived in Pennsylvania. Now that's got wet also. That will come up, but it's not wet enough. So what we're going to do is give it some more saliva. I'm sorry if this is making anybody feel ill, but it is just the best lifter of these gum-backed things. I'm going to leave that there for a few minutes and have a look at the other one that we did, which is just here. Oh, look at that. That's unbelievable. There you go. There's your thing removed. Just wipe over it gently. Should really wipe over it with a tissue straight after, so that the moisture doesn't go into the label. And when that dries, I mean, you can't look. There's one on the other side. That's gone. There's the result. This one now is sat for another 30 seconds. I've got a feeling this might come off easily. I always sort of like just try and lift it from the middle, and that for me is not ready. I'm feeling resistance, even though. Let me just give it a little bit more, and we'll leave that on there. There you are. There's a perfect result with that one. And that sticker, by the way, has been on since 1968. That has the same number. Somebody stuck it on as a filing number for their collection, and it's been on there since 1968 and came off just to prove that it's not a trick. I'll just do the other side. Okay, so this has been on just a little bit longer. This is proving just a little bit more awkward, but we're not bad. It's starting to give way now. And can you see that I'm not digging into the label, I'm actually pushing like that. There we go, it's giving way now. It's giving up the ghost. I'm just pushing it gently. I'm not touching the surface of the label with my nail. I'm pushing from the side here. And there we go. That is off. Let's just clean it up. Try to dab, not rub, when the label is wet. But I reckon that's not a bad little go. Now I'll just dab that. If I rub it, it'll probably just lift the label up a little bit when that's dry. So they've been on there probably since the record was made. Okay, so there's 2 successes. This one's going to be a third, I think. Oh yeah, look at that. And that's only been on there 30 seconds. I recommend to leave them on a little bit longer than that. Let's just dab it away. And there you have 2 perfect labels. This one is the same. That's a gum-back label. That's going to be a little bit more tricky, so I've got a feeling that it's got one on the, no, it's not got one on the other side. So what we're going to do is douse that in saliva, and then I'm going to, that's avoided that type of thing by just picking away at labels and hoping that they're going to come off. Okay. This is a gum-back one. That needs lighter fluid, or a thing called Goo Gone is better than lighter fluid, but it's a little bit more expensive. And again, don't gouge into the surface. It's the, there you go, that's gone. Okay, so there's the 3 type of tapes or stickers that you can have on your records. And this one, leave it alone, don't try and get that off, because you know, I've spent hours, days, over many years trying to get them off, and I've eventually called it a day, and I think they're better with them left on because the mess that it leaves behind is quite big. Okay, so what we've got is we've got this one to do, which from experience I just know that that's going to be a little bit more tricky than the other one. So we can now talk about cleaning acetates. Look at that. Can you see that? Now that is absolutely covered in mould. Let me just tell you about this record. This record is the only copy known. It's the only acetate that was cut from a studio session, and the son of this artist would really like to be able to hear it again, and at the moment with this stuff on it, it's not going to play very well at all. So what have you got to check when you're having a look at an acetate? You've got to check for cracks. Now it has been stood on at some point in its life, and as far as I can see, this side has no cracks. Can you see there? That's starting to crack. Now that's cracking because acetate in basic terms is just like nail varnish put onto a metal disc. Okay, that's basic terms. It's an acetate. This is not vinyl. So if you use any chemicals on it at all, it will ruin it. It'll even probably take the acetate off. So we've got to use plain water with just a tiniest bit of soap solution. Now what I'm checking for is any cracks at all, because if there's any cracks in the surface of that, the water will get underneath and that'll be it. It'll lift it off. Even if it doesn't lift it off today, it will lift it off in the future. So I've got to try and clean this one-off acetate and return it to its owner in a lot better state. I think I'll just put it on the decks to see what it plays like. The reason I don't mind playing this is because the stylus running into that mould will actually loosen it at the grooves. So let's see what it plays like. Plenty of crackle, but basically the sound is there pretty good. So what we're going to do is take this across to the cleaning station and seeing whether we can get that to sound any better. There we go, an unissued funk track which the son of the artist would really like to hear in its full glory again. Let's see what we can do with it. The saliva on that sticker, on an original copy of Queen of Fools, has been on there for about 3 minutes. Now what I've got to be really careful of is that my nail does not get into these damp bits here, because if it does, it will mark the label. So I've got to very carefully pick away, very carefully, and it is a push, not a push into the label, it's a push against the sticker itself. And that is, can you see that my nail is going onto the sticker and not onto the label? If it goes onto the label, you're in danger of just making a mess of the label with your fingernail. So I'm very carefully just teasing this away. If you feel resistance, stop and wait. Okay, so let's dab now. I'll put my finger on because I can feel a little bit of stickiness there. So I'm just going to do that. I can still feel a little bit of stickiness, so what I'm going to finish it off with is this little bit of lighter fluid and just gently glide the tissue over it, and still a little bit of stickiness. Just feel it with his finger, because if you leave that stickiness on there, it will change in colour when it oxidizes and leave a sticker blemish, sticker residue blemish. But it will also, any dust that lands on there, it'll still feel stickiness. Let's see whether we can totally get rid of that stickiness with You've got to be so careful now that it's wet, otherwise you will ruin the label. I can't feel any stickiness there now, so let's see if I can just soak a little bit of that up. Now you can see that is all damp from my saliva, so it's very important that you do not drink coffee and try and do this, because that stain would have been totally brown. If you drink red wine before you do this, you end up with a red wine stain there. So make sure that you've rinsed your mouth out and that your saliva is pretty clear, and that should dry. Can you see there? Just a little tiny lift there, because the saliva also weakens the label. When I come back in half an hour, I think that will, I'll take it out of the sun, I don't want it warped. In half an hour that will be nice and clean, so I'll have another look at that in a bit. Meantime, let's go and see whether we can rescue a unique acetate. So here we go, there's the acetate. Now this is plain water in there, it's in a squirter, but this is just plain water, and all we're trying to do here is just dislodge that mold a little bit. So I'm going to go straight forward and just wet it. That's all we're doing to begin with, is wetting it. Now what we've got at the moment is just a little bit of soap that's been in the brush from previous cleanings of vinyl. I'm trying to do this, I'm applying very little pressure. And that's going right into the grooves. I'm going to turn the machine on. Put the arm on it. Now that's going to suck up the residue of the water and the very fine coating of soap. As it goes round, I'm going to that little bit of blue tack on the end is to give it a bit of extra weight, because it needs to really hit the grooves, and hopefully, we won't know until the cycle finishes, but hopefully this will do it. And as you can see, just the small bit of soap that was inside this brush has caused that. Okay, let's keep our fingers crossed. Now you can see the significant change in it. It's a little dirty there, it's a little dirty there. A lot of it has gone. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play it once, which will take the stylus through the grooves and probably just dislodge any stubborn pieces. And I'm going to come back and clean it again. Here we go. Sounded a little iffy at the beginning, a little dirty at the beginning, so I'm going to run it through one more time, and you can see now, clearly see the dint that's in it. There's no cracks there, so it's fine to clean it. But if you come to this side, you can see all the spider cracks there. if I cleaned that side, water would get under it and it would start to flake. Okay, so let's go and give it one more clean. And okay, I'm going to give it one more dousing. This is plain water. Plain water, which I can just run around there with my finger. Now we're going to leave that on there for a minute. So now we're going to take this brush, which has got soap residue inside the bristles, just enough. I don't want to put any soap on there. I want just enough to cause a little bit of detergent there. Now as this goes around, it should start to froth up a little bit. Now let me just get into that beginning groove a little, from where it was a little bit crackly. Now you can see the detergent is you can angle the brush, get a little bit more aggression with it. Okay, I'm just going to leave it on just a little bit longer, then I'm going to turn the machine on. This is a Laura Craft audio thing. It's the best machine. There are many machines on the market. This is the best one that I've used. This is actually sucking all the debris away at the same time. It goes down there and into the reservoir. I'm still applying pressure to it, as you can see. Just moving it along a little bit. Let's just make sure that beginning bit dry it off while it's on there. You do not want to be leaving moisture on an acetate, so we'll just dry it off very, very gently, and that should give us, well, I can't see any areas now where the mould is still growing. So let's just go and test it on the machine. There are surface marks on this acetate. It has spent a lifetime without a sleeve, I think, but as you can see, so there will be some crackles, but comparing it to the play you had before, let's go and see what it plays like now, and that should be it. Our customer will be quite pleased with the result of that. I can't see actually any mould in there at all anymore. Don't know whether you want to have a quick look at that. Remembering the points that if you see, can you see the cracks just on this side because it's been trod on the other side, just there. If it's like that, I would suggest that you clean it, the areas which have not got there, because if you get water underneath, it will eventually lift the whole thing off. Okay, fantastic. And there we go, we've left it to dry on its own accord. That took about 10 minutes while we was cleaning the acetate, and as you can see, hardly, there's a little tiny mark there which I'm not happy with, but that's me being a bit overzealous on camera really and lifting it off too quick, but certainly better than what it was before. There we go.